neighbors start looking at houses and apartments for rent. Well, in this exact same section of the newspaper were llamas for sale. I grew up just outside of a city. I'm a city girl. Guess what? I was floored. I thought you had to have a license to have a llama, in all seriousness. My mom thought this was hysterical, and I got picked on the entire weekend. Anytime she could, she was picking on me for something to do with me thinking you had to have a license to have a llama. So we're looking at this one place, and she's picking on me again. And I'm like, you know what? Will you just stop that? I said, what are you going to do if, like, a llama breaks free of the farm and comes to live with me? She goes, I'm not going to say anything because that would happen to you. So, fast forward a few months. I met my husband at the job that I was working at. And it was one of those jobs that you do absolutely nothing and you're bored out of your living mind. So one of the many days that we had absolutely nothing to do at work, we were sitting and talking, and I was leaving that night to go back to Allentown, where I'm from. And I told Randy the exact story that I just told you. We spent the entire day researching llamas. The entire day. You could ask me anything in the world about llamas, and I had an answer. Get out for work, drive the 6 hours back to Allentown, purposely wait until morning when I have a sister who's 10 years younger than me. And at that time, she was the most gullible person in the world. You could go outside on a bright, crystal clear blue day, tell her the sky was orange, and she'd believe you. So I purposely started talking to my mom in front of my sister. And I tell my mom that I am getting a llama. She goes, excuse me? I said, you heard me. I told Randy the story of how you picked on me when we were looking for a place for me to live. So he took me to a baby llama farm, or took me to a llama farm, and the farmer asked me if I wanted to feed a baby llama. I'm a sucker for animals. Of course I want to feed the baby llama. So he takes me over and he lets me feed the baby llama out of the baby llama bottle, and I get to pet it, and it's all cute. And he tells me that he does not have the funds to keep the baby llama. He wasn't expecting the llama to get pregnant, and if I wanted it, because obviously he could see I was very clearly attached to it, I could have it. Okay. So I'm getting this llama. The deal with the farmer was I had to wait till the end of summer to make sure that the baby llama was old enough to live on its own. Named the llama Tiki. And I'm telling my mom this. The entire time I'm telling my mom this story, my sister is standing right next to me going, oh my God, Sissy, you're getting a llama? Oh my God, Sissy, really? Can I touch it? Can I play with it? Oh my God, Sissy, you're getting a llama? I don't think she breathed for 20 minutes. Meanwhile, my mom's standing over here, and you can see hairs turning gray, hairs turning white. She's traumatized. She's, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to talk you out of this? She's like, well, what if work makes you go to New York again for 2 weeks? You have a 3-acre lot. You can llama sit. Well, how are you going to get it here? I got a sunroof. What's the problem? So I play this up the entire weekend. She's throwing things at me as far as, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? I had an answer for everything. My grandmother knew what I was doing, so she played along, because my mom figured if she couldn't get through to me, go to Grandma, and Grandma would talk sense into her. My grandmother's response, she's an adult, she can do whatever she wants. So I named the baby llama Tiki, and the whole weekend went by. My mom is absolutely furious with me. I'm getting this llama, and there's nothing she can do about it. So I go back to Uniontown, where I was living. Spent the entire summer, Randy and I, finding pictures of baby llamas online. Sending them to her. Look, Tiki's getting bigger. We're getting closer to the time when Tiki's going to come live with me. Her biggest selling point is, well, where are you going to keep? Or her biggest argument was, where are you going to keep Tiki? You don't really have a yard. Believe it or not, you don't need much of a yard. The space that's between these tables is really about all you need. Now, the flaw in the story that my mother did not know was you have to buy actually go insane. So, this is the flaw. If you didn't know this about llamas, you didn't know that this was the caveat of the story. That fall comes around and I'm scheduled to have surgery. I'm having my thyroid removed and my mother's going to come out for the surgery. Uh-oh. Problem. We've carried this huge plan out for months. Telling her Tiki was born, Tiki's getting big, Tiki's coming to live with us, I got pictures of Tiki. Tiki, 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 Tiki. Well, guess what? Mom's coming out. Let's rent a llama! Do the research, and sure enough, I can rent the llama. So, start looking into it and start contacting the farms, and then I realized my surgery is 2.5 hours away. And I have nobody to take care of the llama. We had to come clean. And admit that this was all one big practical joke. My mother to this day swears that she did not fall for it. But you talk to anybody else and they'll tell you she fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Like I said, there are 3 llamatologists. Me, my husband, and then we deemed a third lady, a fellow llamatologist as well. There's a whole story behind that as well, but we won't go through that tonight. Llamatologists is a self-proclaimed title. Because we did all the research, we deemed ourselves llamatologists, and I found degrees on eBay. Because I have a design background, everybody kept asking me, well, did you design it? Of course not, this is ugly looking. So I had to redesign the llamatology degree, and we are the only llamatologists